Good afternoon. Welcome to Celeste and Kelly's Autopsy Report.
Today we're reviewing and analyzing mistakes made by two teenage girls in pre-calculus.
I heard we have a great lineup today. There are no shortage of mistakes.
That is very true, Kelly. Today we'll be looking at computational mistakes, conceptual mistakes, and errors in reasoning. However, there are very few errors in communication, which is great on the teacher's part.
Today we will be announcing our not-so top 5.
I'm very excited for this. Let's get started.
Number 5. This is number 9 of Chapter 3 test. The directions say, graph the function f of x equals log base 2 x minus 6. Kelly looked at these directions and plotted a point at 8, 3. I'm not sure why she did that, but she should have looked at this equation, saw that the vertical asymptote was going to be at 6, 0, and knew that this equation was going to start at 1, 0, but move to the right 6, and plot a point, and drew the line coming close to the asymptote. This type of mistake is conceptual.
Now for number 4. On our Chapter 4 test for number 20, the instructions are, a ladder leans against a brick wall. The foot of the ladder is 6 feet from the wall. The ladder reaches a height of 15 feet on the wall. Find, to the nearest degree, the angle the ladder makes with the wall. When drawing out the diagram, you can see here that it almost perfectly makes a triangle. Now, we have 15 feet up the wall, as stated in the question, which would be, as she has drawn the theta here, your opposite. Now, our ladder's base is 6 feet from the wall, which, as again shown with the theta here, would be your cosine or your adjacent. Now, as you know, we would use tangent to find this, as it is opposite over adjacent, meaning 15 over 6. So your theta would be equal to 68 degrees. However, as stated clearly in the question, it asks you to find, to the nearest degree, the angle the ladder makes with the wall, not the angle the ladder makes with the floor, which is what is shown here. So, when it is drawn out correctly, the diagram should be 15 feet up the wall, 6 feet out, as shown in the previous diagram. But the theta, or the angle you're trying to find, should be made between the ladder and the wall. Now, if she had done this correctly, you would have had the inverse of tangent, which is what you would use to find the degrees, of 6 over 15. And this is because the cosine, or this would be the sine in this case, is over cosine, or opposite over adjacent. These are both the same thing. So, you should have the tangent of theta would be equal to 21.8 degrees. And again, because we are looking at the directions, it states to find to the nearest degree. And because it is above 5, we will round up. So, theta is equal to 22 degrees. This was an error in reasoning. The angle we were looking for was with the wall and the ladder, not with the floor.
Number 3. This is number 20 of Chapter 3 test. The directions say, solve each of the following equations. Round your result to 3 decimal places. This is the equation. To get 1 plus e to the negative x power off the bottom, we multiply it by both sides. We're left with 600 equals 575 plus 575 e to the negative x. To get 575 to the other side, we subtract. We're left with 25 equals 575 e to the negative x power. To get e by itself, divide both sides by 575. Now, Kelly made the mistake of rounding the after dividing 25 by 575. She should have written down the whole answer that the calculator gave her, and she would have got the correct answer. Instead, she wrote 0.043. Then she took natural log of both sides, like she should have, to get e out of the way. Then she was left with negative 3.147 equals negative x. Divide both sides by negative 1. and she got x equals 3.147. She should have written down all the numbers that the calculator gave her, and she would have taken the natural log of both sides. She would have been left with this number equals negative x, and she should have got x equals 3.135. The type of mistake was computational.
For number 2 on our not so top 5, we'll be looking at chapter test number 3, the problem number being 19. Our directions for this were: solve each of the following equations, round your result to 3 decimal places. Our equation is 5e to the negative 400ths x plus 67 is equal to 97. Now first you want to subtract 67 from both sides of the equation. So you would be left with 5e to the negative 400ths x is equal to 30. Now, as you're trying to isolate the variable, you're going to divide by 5 on both sides, leaving you with e to the negative 400x is equal to 6. Now, to eliminate your e, you're going to take the natural log, which is its opposite. So these two will cancel out, and you will take the natural log on the other side, leaving you with negative 400x is equal to the natural log of 6, which is 1.792. Now, this is where Celeste made her mistake. Instead of carrying her negative, she dropped it and basically assumed that a positive divided by a negative was a positive, which is very untrue. She should have carried it over, leaving her with the answer x equals negative 44.792. This was a computational error, as she did not carry her negative.
Finally, our number 1 in our not so top 5. This is number 6b of a chapter 4 test. The directions say, find the reference angle for the following angle measures. The angle measure is 5 pi over 3. To find the reference angle, you look at your unit circle. Is 5 pi over 3 closer to pi or 2 pi? In this case, 5 pi over 3 is closer to 2 pi. 2 pi minus 5 pi over 3 gives you pi over 3. Your reference angle is pi over 3. On chapter 4 test, Kelly wrote down the answer of 2 pi over 3, when obviously she got the answer of pi over 3. I do not know why she wrote down 2 pi over 3. This type of mistake is computational. Celeste and Kelly need to slow down. They need to thoroughly read the question, and they need to ask questions when needed.
As a conclusion, I couldn't agree more. That's it for us tonight. Thank you so much for tuning in.
Cut.
Dang, those girls better be pretty, because they sure aren't smart.
We are live.